Yo, what up YouTube? Topaz Yates back with another Live from the Underground. Live from the Underground is an episode where we go in on whatever's going on in the music industry and we delve deeper into it. And today we got a pretty good show. Going to delve in deep on this Joe Budden and Nicki Minaj conversation that they had. And we got a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump directly into it. So, what I like about this whole theme of what this is that Joe Budden does is it feels like a private conversation that they have in interview format, and it's pretty dope. Especially in the grand scheme of things, like we all know of the interview that he had with Nicki Minaj where there was a lot of yelling, a lot of arguing. They didn't seem like they were on the best of terms and such. This one shows you that, yeah, it's all love between them. They just go deep on, like, they're very emotional, they're very outspoken about these things that they really love. And I love that all the way around. As we are seeing on this one, a more motherly, mature Nicki Minaj, instead of the typical petty that people have clung to that they love. And maybe a little more about that a little later, which I think that's cool. Like, that's something that becoming a mother, having children, seeing that life is much more than beefing with individual left and right. You dig? When you have so much longevity in the game and you finally accomplished all these things that you wanted and you become a mother on top of that, you realize the importance of things. And you don't necessarily have to just go all out and just slander and be mad all the time, and be happy for where you at. And I love the fact that she's doing this, as we're seeing a lot more of her mentality and stuff as she starts talking about the older things from the beginning, like how, okay, when she was first in the lab with Wayne and Drake and all of these people, and Lil Wayne would come through with a new chick every time as his muse, as Joe Budden would say. And they all had something in common. They all had the body. That's the YouTube analytic way of saying it. And because of this, and because of certain things being said to Nicki Minaj, she ended up going ahead and getting some shots for herself. And not going to no doctor either, go to the back room, people that should not be doing any kind of medical procedure, and these things tend to go badly for women, but she went and got those shots. Why? So that she can fit in. More of like peer pressure and insecurities, looking at, okay, this is one of the guys deemed as one of the best rappers doing it right now, and this is what he must have around him all the time to influence him. So therefore, she felt as though she needed to go ahead and do that, and that's not true. Like, the first thing is, it's important as an individual to be strong-willed enough, not just as an artist, but just as a woman, just having strong enough will and strong enough standards that you will accept yourself and not fit into where you perceive you must fit in. Because let me keep it 100 with you. All men, we don't have a type per se. We don't have a specific type that we absolutely must have. We don't do that. We got a range. Like, my personal range is like, look, I like thick, not overweight. I like thick all the way to petite. Most important maybe would be you gotta be cute. I mean, I've worked with 7s up to 9s. Never could quite. I've always tried to get to 10s, but never could quite get there. But 7 to 9 has been a solid range for me. Don't matter if you thin, don't matter if you super thick, as long as you're not overweight, and as long as you got enough of an attitude that I can, like, you got your own identity that I don't have to walk you through everything. That we can actually have a conversation and you can enlighten me on some things. That you're actually smart enough that I can leave you in a room with some of my homies leave you in a room with other people and you don't embarrass me because you actually have something going on between your eyes. You feel me? You actually have ambitions of actually becoming something more. All of these things fit into my range of women that I would like to have around that can be my muse to actually make something more to it. Now, yes, there are a lot of people who are super petty, who really just want somebody who looks good, who got the body. That's all they want. And I'm sure that kind of caliber of ignorance is what Lil Wayne has always been about. You can tell based on his track record of the women that he was with and how he got a bunch of these kids and how, you know, I'm not gonna say he got the strongest of track records when it comes to dealing with people. But that is what it is. Each individual were the same, but were different to a degree. How far will an individual go into the ignorance? Some will go a lot deeper, like say a Wayne, than others. But ultimately, understanding this, you should understand you can get in where you fit in. You can get you the guy that you want, but you have to, one, maintain yourself, value yourself, have things to say, actually know some things, and cooperate with the man that you want to be with. You do all these, you don't have to fit in and get the shots and all of that stuff when you really don't need to. You feel me? But there's more things that they was talking about, which was interesting. Like Nicki Minaj started going into the female rapper starter kit. And I never quite perceived it in this way because I'm more focused on the business when money is crossing hands. I'm not so focused on the fashion and the way that women be looking and how people take that look and try to make it into something more famous. Not so much like popping in terms of, okay, I'm getting money. Not so much I'm getting all this money from endorsements and stuff because of this particular look. Never thought of it like that before. But as she started speaking about it, like, yeah, I can see it. As Joe Budden was like, yeah, maybe we as a culture need to be licensing or influence by pretty much you have to take credit for your fashion. You gotta take credit for your ideas. You gotta take credit for everything that molds and changes the culture because there will be residual effects if you are remembered for such. Now, given what Nicki Minaj and them is talking about is, oh, I wore my hair long all the way down to my feet, like, that's not unique to the mass population. That's not something super unique to what everyone else has ever done, but that is something that she did make a trend of it for a point in time. How she came into the game wearing pink with the pink wig and the fake body and all of that stuff, to the degree that a lot of these women now, they tend to have to come out with the pink wig and have a particular look to them in order for them to actually get the recognition, for guys to follow them, for guys to actually want to be invested in them, I guess. And it's gotten to the point that women no longer can rap like Nicki Minaj can rap. Like, they're not putting forth any of that effort to become a super talented individual as Nicki Minaj is, as I'm on record saying that she's one of the best, if not the best, female rapper of all time, not just this generation. But because she was so dominant, other women took it for what it is, tried to get the look of it, but didn't really put in the work for it to become something phenomenal. And we see this in the culture all the time. Like, go back to the And One basketball mixtapes for those of you who remember those. People would look at these And One mixtapes like, oh, look at how they dribbling, look at how they showing out. This affected the culture so much that people forgot the whole point of playing basketball is putting up points, putting points in the hoop, having going out and getting the rebound, setting the picks, doing all the dirty work so that you can actually be selected in the NBA draft, that you can be selected on teams that people will respect you because you got game. Instead, for a very long time, and still to this day to a degree, people are more focused on things that don't really matter as much as they really need to be in order for you to be successful. And that's a sad thing, but it's something that's true to the game. Like, because you put on a pink wig and you got a fake body and everybody just wants to be with you for any reason that's not music. That's the type of way that women these days try to present themselves, and they find success from it, but they don't find longevity. Like, these are the individuals that end up, getting signed to whatever label, no real talent, maybe get 1 or 2 songs, get ran through by the industry, and then maybe if they like them bad enough, they might go ahead and throw them into the programming, as they was talking about in this interview about the programming. People don't like these songs until it's on the radio 1,000 times and you have to hear it over and over and over, and because you heard it over and over and over, you begin to like it. These is the type of people that need that kind of promotion in order for them to actually become something. But this goes from men to females as well, cause she enlightened us, like, for real about Future, where Future was like, look, all my fans come to me because, like, they feel as though I'm like the biggest druggie and I'm always high and all the time because that's the songs and the music that I'm making, but I'm really a lightweight. Wow. Future might feel a kind of way about you saying that, but whatever, now it's out there. But that's the reality. See, there's a difference between image and reality. Future got the druggy image, just like how Wiz Khalifa got the smoker's image. If you got the image, that's what people perceive you as. That's the type of music that people want from you. That's what they gonna want you to do. That's gonna be what they want to see you do. That's what everybody thinks that you're going to be all about. But that's not necessarily the truth. You just so happen to be really good at making this kind of song. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, just because he's really good at making lean songs doesn't mean he needs to be addicted to lean. Do you understand how potent and powerful lean is? You understand, if he were to be that, he would be ultimately a crackhead. You understand how many people I've seen popping pucks and stuff end up throwing up in the clubs and stuff because the actual genetic makeup of these pills is heroin. No one wants to do heroin, especially to sell records. No, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all for any longevity in anybody's career. You do not ever want that. So I can't be mad at Future for giving the fans what they want, and because you're giving the fans what they want, they automatically assume that you are a kind of way. Now, he could come out and actually say this, actually tell people, like, look, man, I make these songs, man, I enjoy these songs, and I have done it before a bunch of times, but I ain't like heavy into it. Like, I don't feel as though that's a good thing for individuals to do. He can do that and still keep his brand and still keep who he is, maybe. I mean, a lot of people out there that I know who really rock with Future is really because of the drugs and stuff. But I have a strong feeling that he got quality enough music and they will rock with him for the quality enough music that they're not going to go against him. It's a different thing for Isaiah Rashad. Yes, completely different. But in essence, I still feel as though it could still be the same. If people rock with you for your particular music, for your particular brand, then even if you come out and tell people the real you and everything about you, they can learn to accept you because they just rock with your music like that. Now, one key thing that they also said too was the licensing your influence. Pretty much taking credit for your fashion, your ideas, and everything that's molded the culture, because there are residual effects for you doing that. Like, you can, because you are popping and you change the way that people look and all of this stuff, that image can be put on magazine covers. That image can be addressed with your whole audience, your whole fan base. You can sign deals with individuals who are putting out these caliber wigs. You can create your own wig. Like, you would just have to go somewhere to go get them. As I know a lot of people, they like to go to Africa, they like to go to India, they like to go to places like that and actually go and buy up their own wigs for cheap and sell them because they have some quality stuff. Like, if you can afford to go out there to get it and you got the notoriety that you can go ahead and flip it into something like Nicki Minaj has the ability to do it, yes, you need to be licensing your influence. You need to be licensing your visuals. You need to monetize everything that you do, because everything that you do is making money for everyone that's around. You dig? Like, there's a reason why these people are going to pay you to be on the magazine cover, because you're going to be able to sell more magazine covers. Because your influence. Therefore, your price must adapt to that. The more notable Nicki Minaj, the higher her price should be to be in these magazines. As she's talking about in this interview, that Vogue in particular, they never let Nicki Minaj or Lil Kim or a lot of people within our culture to actually be on there. And that's a shame. Because, I mean, we all know that they make the most money off of the way that our longevity artists and such, how they dress, how they enact, how they go out there and be in at these parties and stuff, how they show up, how they always get the footage of it, all these images on Google search and all that stuff. All of this, it can equate to dollars if done right. So therefore, it is important for you as the individual to go ahead and begin to license your imagery. Go ahead, take your own pictures. And then when you take your own pictures, then you can go ahead and get the copyright, the watermark, and all that stuff, and actually get paid for people to use them joints. Now, I never really got into any of that, you feel me? But I can see the importance of it. And it's one thing that, if ever I can get my own label or anything off the ground, that's definitely a direction that I'm going to always keep in mind. You got to, not only you need to develop your own visuals, develop your own styles, but also be able to monetize your style just for visuals, on top of monetizing your music, on top of monetizing your social media presence. All of this is possible. All of this has been done by numerous people, but it seems as though hip-hop in general, we don't get to see the benefits, the financial benefits from it. Something that needs to change. As I'm glad that Nicki is going ahead and starting to do her own management firm, so that she don't have to pay somebody else. She'll have that all in-house. How she's beginning to get her own record label, put on her own artists, because she already has the radio show that can play whatever music she wants to play. How her radio show, Queen Radio, is becoming its own business. How I don't see why Queen Radio can't be on more often than not. Like, yes, people tune into it because they get to see Nicki Minaj as an individual. You get to hear what's going on in her mind for the limited time that she has. But hire somebody to keep that going. Like, you can run Queen Radio for 5 hours a day and have actual personalities that you hired to do it, and people will watch it, because you never know when Nicki's gonna go ahead drop pass. You never know when Nicki might throw some exclusive on there. You never know what all Nicki may got going on behind the scenes, or whatever relationships she has with other labels, and these other people might need something. Like, the podcasting game, as we see it, is becoming the next radio station. Radio stations are on 24/7. Podcasting, you can develop enough content that people can watch it whenever they want. And the more and more that Nicki has of people that comes through, the more often, the more monetary value she can get, the more she can go ahead and get ad revenue, the more she can do anything. Like, these are all great businesses that she's doing, on top of like her trying to do her own wig line, her trying to get the whole fashion thing going. And she dropped a dope gem while talking about this as well. How she said, yo, the reason why she ain't really been jumping into the whole fashion, why she really ain't jumped off her wig line and all this stuff yet, is because she wants to do deals with these major places and such, which is, that's fine. I'm more of a individual for the underground, for the individual, for us to own something instead of trying to go ahead and get deals and complain about it like Kanye West always. But fine, there's always a different path, and you know, getting a path with a major brand, that's fine. But she does not want to go ahead and start negotiating with anybody until she's hot again. And that makes sense. You never want to negotiate your deals from a point of weakness. Because as she was saying, like, yo, I haven't been doing music. I stepped away because I had a child. I really haven't been making a lot of great bars. She was struggling. She had writer's block. She had all of this stuff. So she was not at that point in time in her life where it was cool for her to go ahead and start signing deals and stuff like that, because she wouldn't be able to get her max. She wouldn't be able to get all that she knows that she can get. Like, you usually get the most that you can get when people know that you don't need them. Now, take it with a grain of salt for your own particular life though, because not all of us have ever reached the heights or know that they can rebound and hit them heights that Nicki Minaj know that she can hit them back, because she's Nick. She got the radio station. Well, her own podcasting. She got her own thing. She got her own audience that support her no matter what. No matter how great or how bad the music is, this audience that she has is going to support her, and anybody that throws any slander or anything to them, oh, they coming for you. Oh, they coming for you. And yeah, some of the things that I'm going to say in this, I can all but assume some of this slander is going to come. So realize when I speak critically of Nicki, it's all out of love. You dig? I respect Nicki for what she do, but I got to give it to you the way I see it. But I do love the businesses and the mindset that she's ultimately going in, because she seems as though she's trying to build. She's trying to represent the culture well now. I say now. Like, I've had my issues with her in the past, and we're about to get into that. As, okay, much like with Future's a lightweight when it comes to taking drugs and such. Image and reality. That same thing can be based on lyrical how individuals rap, the content in which they deliver for the music. As the greatest way that they delivered it was like, look, would you hold movie directors accountable for all the murders that you see in the movies? Like, if that was so, the people that did The Godfather, The Goodfellas, all the mob movies, all the great movies from before, they should be sentenced to life now, shouldn't they? Because they're talking about lives of crime, showing you exactly the lifestyle that these individuals have. Did they live it? Nah. They were probably around it. They researched it. They were around people who were honest enough to tell them where the bodies were buried, the lifestyle and such. But yet rap? Oh, rap, you are held accountable to every kind of, like, they've sentenced people to jail for the lyrics, regardless of if it was true or not. They will play your songs in court to lock you up. They didn't show any movies to lock up the director that was running with Trump. You feel me? But no, that's for us. As Nicki continues to break it down, like, okay, why do they treat me differently for covers of magazines where they will tell her specifically, no, you cannot have the pink hair, even though she was the one who all but put that on the map, making it so everybody is rocking pink hair still to this day. Like, no, you can't do that, and we need you to strip down. We need more sexuality, and Vogue will never book her. But yet Billie Eilish, who's just now getting hot, well, Billie Eilish is hot, it is what it is, I'm not going to take it away from her. As Nicki Minaj says, she got a lot of respect for her and all that stuff, but she ain't nowhere near as hot as Nicki Minaj is and was, especially at her peak. But yet, Nicki Minaj don't get these phone calls, and she's wondering why. And I'm like, this is how you can tell the difference between someone who's really not from here. You dig? And all love and respect to Nicki Minaj, but we all know that she has immigrant background. You dig? And we all know that she talks greasy. At least she has talked greasy about people who are from here. Foundational Black Americans. She's talked greasy about us multiple times, talked greasy about Martin Luther King, greasy punchlines and artwork about Malcolm X. And she just now beginning to understand, oh, all of these people, they treat me like I'm black. She's just now understanding this, and now she's coming out on some, we need to support each other. We can't tear each other down. We are all the same people. Like, this is something that we were talking about for a long time, but yet immigrants like you, Nicki, immigrants like what's her name that got a baby with A$AP Rocky now, Rihanna, y'all love to talk greasy about black people, not realizing you considered black to them too. You don't quite understand. It's like when you look at the Africans that's out there in the Ukraine getting discriminated against and all that stuff, like, I all but guarantee you that they felt as though they were better than Black Americans. I know so many of these people. Like, I'm a student, I work hard, I go out, I got all of this and this. White people love me. And then when things go down, when the war is starting to happen, oh, you begin to see how all these people really feel about you. So much so that now you want to come around and be like, oh, we need to work together. We can't sabotage ourselves. Like, we wasn't sabotaging nothing. You were sabotaging us because you felt that you were better than us. But now that you realizing, oh, I get treated differently than a Billie Eilish, or how, oh, a Nipsey Hussle don't get the same record deals as, say, a Mac Miller. Rest in peace, both of them. All respect. But as you begin to realize, okay, especially as you come up in the game, the more money is made and all of this stuff, the more that you see this, the more that you recognize that you were treated differently, you're treated less than, and the more that you do, the less that you're getting, that you are actually deserving of. Welcome to the struggle. Welcome to reality. The problem is, I feel as though it's too late. Like, and I love Nicki Minaj. I love everything she does. I love the music. I love the fact that she stands for and what she's trying to do for the culture and stuff right now. But the whole, like, all the immigrants rocking with us and all that stuff, that ship sailed, cuz. It's really difficult. It is really difficult to go back and actually forgive after all of this. The boat is moving. You missed the boat, and we gonna keep it pushing, and we gonna get ours. Now, I'm glad that you're finally talking like you got some sense, recognizing the actual struggle, but you got a lot more work to do before you're fully forgiven for all of that. Point blank, period. That's just how I feel. But to continue on, some other things that she was talking about, which was very interesting for me, was how she was missing life due to the music business. And this isn't anything new for the most part. Like, this is why most women, when they start getting put on into the game, we begin to see them burn out a lot faster than any guy. Like, I came out with the live stream about Coi Leray, talk about how she's tired, talk about Doja Cat, talk about how they tired, talk about all the grind and the hustle that you have to do in order to maintain and continue your dominance. And in this day and age of the music industry, it's just like social media. Like, there's a saying in social media that if you have not been seen by your audience in a day, in 24 hours, in one way or the other, you've already lost 3% of your audience. That's the audience. That's the way that the industry has gone into. That's the way that music, because music is following what's going on in TikTok. Like, people are breaking the records in TikTok more than anywhere else at this point in time. People are following social media, SoundCloud, YouTube, you're looking at IG. This is where all the people are building their audience of people that want to come through and listen to their music, that actually want to support you. This is where they're building you, but yet these are the rules for actually building and becoming a dominant force in these areas. Is you have to consistently be seen. You have to consistently deliver content that people want to see, want to support, people want to have, and from that, it will snowball itself with the right promotion and maybe some luck, maybe the right cosigns, you have the right features and things of that nature, but you have to be consistently on top of it. So with that being the rules, you're going to miss a lot of life. You're going to miss a lot with your people. As Nicki Minaj gave us a story about how one of her youngest siblings, I don't know if it's her only youngest sibling, but a youngest sibling decided to ultimately graduated from school. And her parents and her family decided, oh, let's not bother Nicki Minaj because she's clearly out on a world tour. She's clearly doing her own thing out here. Let's not bother her with this graduation. She gotta go out there and get it. Not knowing that Nicki Minaj had the ability to go ahead and reschedule her entire life so that she could come back to be around her family as they graduate. That's something that she really, really wanted to be a part of. And you could tell just by the way that she was saying it, she was hurt by that. And I feel that, especially when you gotten to the point where you can make these adjustments so that you can be a part of these things, people still neglect to mention it to you because they see that you busy. They see that you have to be on the grind. They see that you out here getting it, and they automatically assume that the answer is no. That's something that you just have to break down, though. You dig? Like, that's something that you have to speak to your people about. You gotta tell them, yo, I don't care what's going on. Just let me know and let me determine before you determine my availability. But that is the life that we sign up for, being part of anything these days, not just the music industry on the highest level, but also when you sign up to be on the highest level of social media, to actually be able to get financing, to actually be able to get paid for what you do, you have to be there. Because that money is going to come when you least expect it. It could be over the holidays when you think that you got the time to go ahead and kick it with family. Nah, somebody got a bag for you and you can't turn that down. I've been there. I know. I've seen it. And I've made that bag. Wherever I could get it. And it all ties in together because what are you going to rap about if you're not ultimately living any kind of life? If you're not around being proud for your family as they come up or trying to help out and being there for others and such. Like with you not being there for your people, all you can rap about is industry nonsense that's catching viral and chasing after whatever the next wave is, losing all kind of substance. And when you lose substance and you lose things to talk about, then that becomes the beginning of the downfall. Now, Nicki as an individual, she's skilled enough that, like, just like Lil Wayne, when he ran out of things that he was talking about, man, where he only started talking about what? Sex. Started talking about the same 3 topics: gangster, sex, and random things that comes to his mind. Only 3 things that he was talking about for a very long time, is probably still to this day. But having enough skill, you can get by off that. You can make punchlines. You can be super creative and thought-provoking with just rapping about these particular things. But that substance level is something that, you know, I tend to seek out, that I tend to love. That's why I like artists like Acorde, like artists like A Saba, like all these new artists that's actually dropping things of substantive value for the soul that gives you something positive. People like Earth Gang, people like Spillage Village, people that actually do have something to tell you, but can also make that into quality music. You have to have the experiences, though, in order for that to happen. And I think that's a very deep story. Like, much respect to Nicki Minaj for actually telling that. Now, another thing that she said was very interesting was to never base your art around award shows or getting in where you fit in and all of these things that's happening on a scene. You feel me? Like, because when Nicki Minaj goes out on a promotional tour and does things like that, she'll be at the Grammys, she'll be at the Oscars, maybe, if she's a part of the movie. As she said that she's about to do some actual acting, which that'll be interesting. But she'll be at those. She'll be at the fashion shows. She'll go to the Kanye fashion show, as she actually did. She does have a relationship with Kanye enough to sit down and talk to him and see exactly where she can go with fashion and all of that stuff, which is a excellent place to go, because even though I don't like Kanye West's fashion sense at all, you gotta respect the fact that he knows how to build and promote a brand better than anybody else in the world. So Nicki having that ability to call him is a great plus. That's how I know she's going to be successful at anything that she so desires to touch, as long as she put forth the same amount of effort at doing all of this as she does with putting forth dope bars, putting forth dope music. She's going to be good regardless. But I feel that, like, there's so many shows, different things that's happening that you want to show up to, and when you get seen, that's automatic promotion. People gonna begin to look at, oh, you must have something new coming out. Oh, is that your new fashion? Let's go ahead and buy that. Let's go, like, the more you are on the scene, the more that you can make stuff happen. The more you can talk with people, the more money is going to be coming your way. That's why I help throw parties here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And whenever I'm out there on the party scene, man, I'm just talking to people, man, because you never know when the next opportunity is going to show up for me to go ahead and make some money. You don't know when the next bit of information is going to come around that's going to help me in my path. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know anything when you're just out there. You feel me? It's important to just be on the scene whenever it happens so that you can be there to get paid. Like, a lot of these, as she was talking about, these women out here who copying her likeness and doing the same things that she doing and all of that stuff in order to find their success, they wouldn't get the success if they wasn't out and about to get it. You have to show up to get the money. If you're not gonna show up for the money, somebody else is gonna show up for the money. Please believe that. So you want to be that. But Nicki Minaj saying that you don't necessarily have to go out and design everything that you do around the fact that you're going to be at all of these places. And that's facts. That's 100% facts. Because when you're dope and you do your own thing, then ultimately, whatever you got can fit into wherever you're at, and you can make it all happen for your own way. Makeshift Mitch, Money Mitch, what's good, bro? Up there in the chat, what you say? You said, preach. I don't know, I don't care what is going on in your life. I prefer the real situations that I can possibly relate to over saying anything because it's popular. Facts. And that's all, that's real, man. That's real talk. Ultimately, because like, you see, inflation is killing us out here. You see the war, people are struggling non-stop. People associate with struggle now more than ever. People need someone to look to get us over that hump, to get us through this struggle so that we can ultimately become what we want to be. Like, you embody our dreams, you embody who we are. And if you're gonna do that, you have to embody the fact that the vast majority of us are struggling. The few of you individuals that make up the music industry that all revolve around each other, yeah, y'all living good, but y'all like less than 1% of the population. And the masses of the population that's listening to your music, that's supporting you, are the people that's struggling, and you need to embody that. But as I was saying, man, you do not have to, when you create art to fit in to wherever you're going, then your art falls off. That's why they like, oh, you gotta make music for the club because you're gonna be in the club. You need your music to be played, but then also, while you making music for the club, you need to go ahead make some music for these ladies. Why? Because ladies want to listen to your stuff, and you want to be around ladies and stuff, right? But instead of like, yo, let me just make the best music possible, and then don't stop until women react to the music that I just made. Not something specifically designed through the analytics software that you got and whatever's going on in the world today, chasing after fad in order to go ahead to create some kind of perceived hit that'll be here today, gone tomorrow. Instead of doing that, do what you're best at and make it work. Don't stop until you make it work. Like, there's a this TV show I always be telling people, man, that I feel as though people really need to be supporting, that Wu-Tang TV show. There was an important episode on there where individuals came to RZA like, yo, we need you to, we need a song that we're going to promote. You got this song right here, you got this song right here. Like, but one person was like, yeah, man, this song is cool because it's for the club, go-getter, hustlers. This is something that we can push out here on these streets. But that's only Method Man's song. Like, we need a song for the entire team to introduce Wu-Tang to the masses. Something that goes hard, that has our own taste, or have our own brand to it, that has our own flavor. We need something for everybody involved in it, and make the most out of it. And RZA told to them like, look, I see what y'all talking about, and we ain't got it. Like, sure, y'all got your own favorite songs, but there's not one particular song that both of you can agree on, but yet I hear what y'all saying. We need something that fits that, which led to the biggest Wu-Tang song biggest Wu-Tang single. Sorry. Which created the Wu-Tang, I think it was the seventh, it was Protect Your Neck. Protect Your Neck came about because people tried to put marketing on the music. When RZA was like, yo, what y'all saying, I understand what you're saying, but we don't have that particular song, we have to make that. And he actually went through, spent a couple days, non-stop, no sleep, all grind. Worked, like he pretty much went through and had his own sleep deprivation to a degree. But he got it done. And that's how you need to do it. Like, you gotta have the mentality of what you're trying to bring about to the table. You don't sacrifice on your music. You don't design things around whatever it is that you need to go to and all that stuff. You make your music, you make it as great as you can with whatever concepts that you have. And then you take the best of it and then you make it happen on the scene, whatever you got coming up, whatever promotion that you got. Like, the potency and the importance of your music comes first. And then you can get it to fit in where it can fit in. That's how you don't really fall off when it comes time for the content. And Nicki Minaj being able to correlate this, to actually understand this now, because clearly she had to go through that. Clearly she made it go in the wrong. She clearly went in the wrong direction before in her path. Now she's speaking with knowledge. Now she's speaking with everything that we need to know as up and coming individuals. Lessons that I wish more artists would actually spit. You feel me? These types of lessons are very important to be told. But too often, artists that have this kind of knowledge, they don't do these kinds of interviews, or at least their interviews don't get this kind of promotion, or they're not on the level of which Nicki Minaj is. But that is amazing. But always keep in mind, that's for Nicki Minaj. See, timing is everything. Why do y'all think that I go so hard and I put up reviews of things before anybody else out there even knows it's even out there? You feel me? Timing is everything for you to be starting up, but yet you can still deliver quality content if you have everything in mind how you want to do it. But I'm just in the process. And one thing that I always do as an individual is I try to master my timing on everything that I do. Timing is very important. Nicki Minaj doesn't have to master timing because she is already great. But where the music industry and social media, all that intersects right now, you have to understand, you have to time everything right in order to get your max, in order to get your shot. The game is ever evolving, and timing is becoming a key point of it. Master your timing. What's the next thing? Okay. Another thing that was very interesting that was said within this was Joe Budden says, like, yo, he doesn't understand why artists feel as though, you know, you only have a limited time to get back. And Joe, the game's changed. Yes, you do have only but a limited time, and it's messed up. And I understand it's messed up because when it comes in terms of women, especially when they just were pregnant, when they just had a child, like, and they have to get completely back in shape because for some odd apparent reason, well, not for some reason, but the vast majority of artists, female artists that get put on in the music industry, they are perceived as sex symbols. And to be a sex symbol, you have to have your body type. You have to be physically not everybody has to be the same physically, but being in shape is a must if you're going to be a sex symbol. Now, not everybody needs to be a sex symbol. Joe Budden is not a sex symbol. He's just a dude with money that gets a bunch of bad chicks, and because of that, and the fact that, and because he keeps the bad chicks around him and all that stuff, he became somewhat of he's become a alpha symbol for men to try to become. A man that actually have his stuff together, that has his own ownership, that's getting his own money, that don't have to kiss up to nobody. He's not a sex symbol though, who's going to be showing up on his podcast taking off his shirt. He's not 50 Cent, who will be upside down in his video because he's flexing, doing sit-ups, but yet he can't do that no more. So now people are clowning because 50 was a sex symbol. Let's not forget the steroid scandal of, say, Dr. Dre, who Dr. Dre probably gave a bunch of them steroids to 50 Cent. Not saying allegedly, supposedly, allegedly, not saying that Dr. Dre did it, but word around everything says Dr. Dre and that whole Aftermath crew with Busta Rhymes, while they were all super flexed out and trying to be sex symbols and stuff, is because they had the steroids. Allegedly, supposedly. Now, am I saying that all women, all men have to be sex symbols? No. Clearly Joe Budden is not. Clearly none of Slaughterhouse are sex symbols. Clearly Lizzo is not a sex, well, at least she's trying to be a sex symbol, but that's why she's getting clowned, because she's out of shape and no one cares about that. She don't even have the talent to make quality music. But yet you want to try to be a sex symbol. Like, maybe if she was as talented as, say, a Jill Scott, nobody would clown Jill Scott. All but because she's super talented and the content that she delivers is freaky, to say the least. Because she does all of that, she's all but become somewhat of the sex symbol in her own right. But yes, there is a limited time, because you can be forgotten. It's just like out here in the dating game. See, in the dating game, if women do not come up on they man that needs to go ahead and take care of them forever, have kids and all that stuff with, by the age of 30, ain't nobody checking for them no more. Why? Because that 30-year-old got to now compete with all the new 18-year-olds. And there's a new 18-year-old coming into the dating market every single day. A new super bad Instagram model that everybody is checking for more than they checking for Nicki Minaj. Like, Nicki Minaj got her standard fan base, her standard audience that's gonna check for her regardless, that's gonna fight for her, that's going to stay up on the news on what the music industry is doing to make sure that she's never slighted, never robbed of anything that she does. Oh, the Barbs are going to be there to support, and that's the best thing about Nicki Minaj. That's why Nicki is always going to be there. But anyone who is not Nicki Minaj, or say Lil Kim, which Lil Kim's fan base, they're not as strong as before, or Beyonce, if you ain't hit that upper level like that, your people will fade away from you. Your DMs will only be there for sexual access. They're not going to be there to actually date you, to actually do things for you. Like, look at Rihanna. Rihanna swore she could do better than A$AP Rocky now, didn't she? Like, A$AP Rocky is clearly the best that she could do. When she had Chris Brown, who now owns his own masters, who's going to go down as hip-hop, rock and roll Hall of Fame artists, regardless of how you feel about him. She had a Drake Drake just bought, what, a $70 million mansion, super successful like that. She could have had all of these people, but she waited too long. She didn't cash out in her prime, and now the best she could have got is A$AP Rocky, a dude who's going to compete with her with who got the cutest bag, who's the cutest person in this couple. That's what A$AP Rocky is competing with here. I have no confidence that A$AP Rocky is going to win a fight for Rihanna. And Rihanna's mouth is so slick, she's probably going to get into another fight. It's not a good look. But yet, because she ain't got no other options, A$AP Rocky was the last on the way out dude that's actually going to do something for her, that actually has enough of a status to be able to do anything for her. You feel me? So that's the problem. You only have a limited amount of time, especially women in this industry. You only have a certain limited amount of time in order to get the maximum, to get everything that you need. And if you disappear for longer than what you need to, like they say in social media, like I just told you, if you go one day without being seen, one day without keeping the momentum going, you lose 3% of your audience's attention. A lot of these people may still be subscribed to you, but they won't really be watching your videos like that because their attention has already moved on. This is just the natural evolution of where entertainment is going today because of the internet. It's a 24/7 media entity where everybody is looking for something new all the time on all of these different platforms, and there's enough people out here and enough money for everyone to eat off of it. So therefore, it is important, and I know it's tough, like women needing to get back into shape right after you having the kid and getting back to the grind like you did. Like, that's why this is really like that's why most of these women out here be giving up too quick before they even see the maximum, before they even see any kind of success, because it's hard and it's not gonna get no easier. Nicki may be able to sit back and go on a hiatus because she had a baby and all that stuff, but not no Coi Leray. Not no Doja Cat. Not any of these newer acts. You gotta grind hard, get the max out of it, and then maybe move on and do something else in your brand. I don't know. But that is what it is. And the more you play with it, the less you're going to get out of it. But what else was something that was very important? Nicki Minaj talking about how it was important for her, it's still important for her to be able to be around the people that's actually spitting, to actually be part of the creative process, the competitiveness of it. That's why she likes to rock with and do singles with a Lil Baby and stuff. And I like Lil Baby, but he's not competitive on that level. But I feel that he's buzzing on the highest level. He's consistently putting in the work ethic, and he does have moments from time to time that can be perceived as bars for this current generation. I'm with that. Associating your brand with somebody who's grinding like that is going to force you to grind. Like somebody once said, I forget, I think this was on the Bel Air TV show. If you've seen it, Money Mitch, the Bel Air TV show is fire. But what they said was, yo, still sharpen steel. And when you do that, the sparks fly. Meaning you're going to have issues while you're going ahead and sharpening your steel. You're going to have issues being competitive with these other competitive people. And sometimes arguments, sometimes things like the whole Joe Budden, Nicki Minaj conversation where they was arguing with each other. Like things like that happen with people that are passionate about the work that they put out, passionate about becoming great, passionate about doing their thing. That happens. Sparks is gonna fly. But at the end of the day, you both can get better. You need that competitive energy. Where most people really lose that competitive energy is when they end up going downhill, where they end up not being able to provide not being able to get better musically, when you feel as though you are established and you don't need to compete with anybody else anymore, when the next artist that's coming for your slot is coming every day, just like the next 18-year-old woman coming for your man, coming every day. The competition never stops. Then she started talking about some of the new things that she's working on, how she's trying to like really focus as a mogul, doing the beauty, makeup, hair, all of this stuff, and which turning that into a business. Like I said, Queen Radio becoming its own business, how she's trying to be an actual actor, not just, oh, it's Nicki Minaj in a movie playing Nicki Minaj, maybe doing a performance of a particular song on the soundtrack. No, she's actually going to do some straight up acting, which is cool. How she's going to have her own management and record company, which I think I've already talked about that, but that's important because why pay other people to do these things for you when you got enough money to build these own entities and you pay yourself and you can ultimately build up your own brand, just like how Lil Wayne built up Young Money. Like, you should have been taking notes on how they built up Young Money in terms of artists, and then how Baby and all that they was doing in order to build up Young Money on the business end. You should have been around that, soaking up all the game instead of just taking it for what it is. Talking about too, another side of the business where all of the fans, the barbs and stuff, they get super frustrated because Billboard keep on changing the rules on them to prevent all the things that Nicki Minaj is doing from charting, when they put forth the good money to help Nicki Minaj become the most dominant, number one, consistent all the time. Where they said what? They changed the rules where people buying multiple purchases of the songs don't even really count like that. And then by playing through Spotify and all that stuff, like through all these streaming companies, by playing these music all the time, it's not equivalating all the way through record labels and things of that nature. They're not turning these views and these view counts into, okay, we need to go ahead and play this. No. And Joe Budden actually gave away the game. Why? Because Joe Budden don't have to do anything for anybody no more. He stands on his own, so he can tell you specifically what's going on, and that's why I like to watch interviews like this. What he said is, label people, the people who work at these record labels, also work at the streaming services and Billboard, because they are the ones who's associated from beginning to end here. That's how these things get the whole, that's how all of these projects get streamlined. That's how they do the promotion, because these people are already plugged in on every single level. So unless you are plugged in with these specific people that's plugged in on all of these areas of the music generation, then you're not going to get the promotion, the mass promotion that all of these other artists are getting. That's how you get a Billie Eilish that's not getting the same kinds of streams as Nicki Minaj, but yet she's getting the play on the radio stations more because the labels are promoting her. Why are the labels promoting her? Because these people that are associated through the streaming services, through the Billboard, through the radio, all of these people are the same people. So therefore, she's just going to get the hype. That hype that just get thrown out there because you're seeing it all the time, that's a big machine. They don't apply that machine to just anybody. They don't apply that machine to people who's showing that they got the numbers. They don't apply that machine to you. They apply that machine to people that are plugged in from the beginning because they're making money on it every step of the way. And no, it's not fair. And yes, this seems to be straight up payola, 1. 2, this seems to be a monopoly. They monopolized the artist's lifespan from all of this, from beginning to end, in order to promote individuals. That's why only a select amount of artists actually go viral. That's why whenever you see an artist go viral out of nowhere and you never even heard of this person, but he's getting, say, what's his name? I cannot remember his name. He's a trash rapper. I did like a super trash review of him. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me look it up. But this is how you see like trash rappers end up like Yeet. Rappers like Yeet, who not a fan of his music. He does the same music as everybody else, but randomly he's getting a lot of views. He's getting like in the what, 30 million, 40 million mark for a lot of the stuff that he's putting out. Now, it could be just the grind. It could be he just built the audience. It could be all of that. But he mostly could be because he's an industry plant, that they're using a different format to put him out there instead of just throwing them to the music through the music services, through the radio, through the billboard. They want him to actually get a grassroots following, and in order to do that, they got the connections through social media and all that stuff to throw the promotion, throw the views all the way, so that people will just randomly see it and respect it because the numbers are there and people want to have those numbers and they like this kind of music, so they associate themselves with him, and he ultimately builds up his own buzz from that moment forward, so that you think that he's a grassroots artist, when in actuality he's a tough, what do they call him? They call him one of them fake tough artists and such. Like, they created the whole blueprint for him. He just had to walk it and put out music. That's what this seems to be. And it's not fair. Like, they have their own strategies. They have multiple different strategies on how to break whatever artists they feel as though need to be broken in what particular way, depending on the audience in which they perceive this person would go towards. And because they have the power, if they do decide to put forth the money to put all of this in motion, they can make you pop. But then, after that first album, for the vast majority of people, after that first album, you ain't getting that promotion no more. If it works or not, whatever comes from it, they're taking all the money. That's just how the game is going. That's just how the game goes, and that's how you master the fact that you monopolized everything from beginning to end. Doesn't it all make a lot more sense now that a person from the inside, a Joe Budden, actually gives you the game? This is some game that should have been given a long time ago, but yet all these top artists, from Lil Wayne to Jay-Z, all these people, instead of actually telling us this, they like, yo, I might need to use that for myself. So I'm not going to tell the people that I'm supposed to be supporting, the people who actually need this information to be successful. I'm not going to tell you because I can use it to make another $1 billion. There's never enough billions of dollars for me to have. So instead of actually looking out for the culture, looking out for the people trying to come up, looking out for the people, you just take full advantage of everyone. One thing that I like that Nicki Minaj is doing too is, instead of talking about what she's doing on every aspect of it and telling you a specific date on when things can be expected, she's just saying, yo, it'll be out when it'll be out. Like, that's what she's saying with the documentary. That's dope. That's good. Because a lot of people be hurt, man, when you give them a date and you keep pushing that date back because it's not ready. And it'll be worse if you just force it out and it's not even as good as people hope that it was. You feel me? It's the wise move. It's the genius move to just be like, you know what? I am working on something like this. I am doing that. But it'll be out when it'll be out. Just know I'm trying to do it. There's no guarantees, no promises, none of that stuff. Don't hold me to nothing. But I'm trying to do it. It'll be ready when it'll be ready. Thank you for having your interest. Like that type of stuff, I respect. Keep it 1,000. Like, you see, Nicki Minaj is definitely keeping it 1,000 more than the vast majority of any artist that you ever come across, man. And that is very important. And in terms of that, you see that she is beginning to accept constructive criticism a lot. At least that's what she says. I need to see it in action. You feel me? Because there's a reason why a lot of people are tied to Nicki Minaj in the videos where she's arguing with people, because she does it a lot. Like, take the song that she did with Tory Lanez so long ago, where Tory Lanez offered constructive criticism, like, yo, you can come harder on this, Nick. I love you, but I know your greatness. And not that I'm here to cape for Tory Lanez, because I'm happy to see that he's probably going to have to go back to Canada for the actions that he's done, but I think he's an amazing music. He's just a scumbag of a person. But when Nicki Minaj took that and didn't take it as constructive criticism to be like, oh, let me go ahead and try to do something more, she took it in the opposite, like, oh, really? Then you could just take me off of the song, thank you. And then you know how Nicki Minaj do. Which, I mean, at that point of her career where she could be super egotistical and do whatever she wants to because she got the audience and the money and the fan base, she got everything going in her direction, yeah, she could do that. But by doing that, you see how immature she was. Instead of trying to come better, come stronger, instead of, you know, respecting the fact that Tory Lanez is a very talented individual, I'm never gonna take that away from him. Instead of respecting that and actually trying to do the best with it, she just crapped on him and showed how petty that she is. But she's saying that she's come up out of it, and by the way that she's talking about her child and how she's been looking at life, I can see it. I can see the change, but I need to see it in the long haul. I need to see her continue with that. But I think that's definitely a good step forward for her as a brand, because that's going to open up so many more doors, so many more relationships, as she's saying, like, yeah, to get songs on the radio and all that stuff. Like, you can pay for certain things, other things, it's about relationships. It's like payola and relationships run the music industry. And the last thing I want to talk about on this one, because we've already passed how long have we been going? We already passed an hour. Whoa, we going in. But the last thing I want to talk about here will be they're trying to spark up a Lil Kim versus Nicki Minaj versus battle. As they're trying to say that, you know, Nick, you like a legacy brand, man. You could go ahead and do that. That's something that the culture want to see. Yeah, the culture would like to see it. The culture would like to see and reminisce about the heights of both of these acts. But by you saying that, you are automatically assuming that Nicki Minaj is washed up. And I, as an individual, will never say that Nicki Minaj is washed up until I see her get washed up. Like, say what you will, Versus is always super entertaining. I love to watch it. I make my reviews, my reactions of them. Like, the way that these people put on shows and competitive, this is amazing. But let's not forget the foundation of what Versus is all about. It's about washed up artists getting a buzz again. When a artist goes on Versus, all of the numbers shoot up in streaming numbers, the video numbers, YouTube numbers, everything in particular, and they be needing it. And because of that, they can go out, like a lot of them do be touring artists. They still be getting money on tours, but the notoriety of them increase and they can start asking for more money. Because as washed up artists, that doesn't mean your career is over. That doesn't mean you're not making no money no more. If you played your cards right and your career was what it needed to be, then yes, you can continue to find your own success. But Versus is for the people that's no longer seeing that. I'm not prepared to say that Nicki Minaj's next album is not going to be bigger than the last one. I'm not prepared to say that her value in terms of releasing new music is descending. Why? Because our audience will not allow that. 1, 2, the record label is still putting forth the maximum promotion. The record label is putting forth the promotional dollars from the beginning to the end, like how they said these people that work from the streaming services and Billboard and all of that in the radio, they all work together. These people are still in support of Nicki Minaj. Until she drops a flop, until we see her audience just fade away, until she's no longer able to go out here and get the massive amount of dollars that we see her get off of all the stuff that she do, she doesn't need to be doing a versus battle. Honestly, Lil Kim need to be battling Foxy Brown or somebody who could really use that versus battle in order to get the brand back where they need it to be. You feel me? Like Nicki Minaj going into a versus battle is her pretty much taking away a slot from somebody who actually really needs it, who actually measures up well with Lil Kim. I know people draw the comparison to Nicki Minaj and Lil Kim. They wanna create a beef with them all the time and all that stuff, man. But that doesn't have to be a thing. Like, let Nicki Minaj continue with her career, because we're not 1000% sure she's in the twilight of her career yet. Now, when she is in her twilight of her career, and if Lil Kim haven't done a versus battle yet, then sure, I could see them coming together to do that. But that's not a good look for Nicki Minaj and her brand right now that's still on the way up. The reason why 50 Cent is not doing versus battles, even though he's washed up as an individual musician, but yet he's not washed up out here in life. He's doing better than he's ever been doing just based off of his TV deals. And the fact that he got some of the hottest TV shows on TV, you feel me? So therefore, it makes no sense for 50 Cent to get involved with people that really ain't got nothing else going for themselves and need a versus battle. Now, when the time comes, yes, I'm all for a Kim versus Nicki versus battle. I think that could be amazing. I think Kim is going to get ate up, but I think it's going to be amazing. And why do I think Kim would get ate up? Because Nicki just got more hits over time and more genres of music that she made hits for. Kim still is Lil Kim. All respect to Lil Kim. She was the most dominant female rapper, but Nicki borderline became a pop star for a very long time. She still can be perceived as a pop star. She got hits that Kim got nothing for. Maybe. I could be wrong. But my money would be on Nicki. But that's not something that needs to happen anytime soon. But overall, man, it was a very, very interesting interview that happened here, man. A lot of game that was kicked. Very important game that was kicked for all the individuals that want to know more about the business. Like Joe Budden will tell you, because what he got to lose. He clearly not going back to Slaughterhouse. Clearly ain't going to be doing no music. He got the deals with Spotify, or wherever he's at. And you know, could he be jeopardizing his deal with whatever streaming service is streaming his podcast and all that stuff? Possibly. But if they drop him off for whatever he's saying because he's giving away secrets, trade secrets like that, somebody else is gonna pick him up. Just like Joe Rogan, huh? Yeah. Take it for what you want to take it. As much as these racist people don't want Joe Rogan to be canceled, when Joe Budden gives away all your secrets, there ain't no canceling him. Nope. He's too big to fail, just like Joe Rogan, and y'all gonna have to hold that L. But that's where I'm gonna go ahead and end this, man, because I ain't eating nothing all day. Appreciate everybody came through. Appreciate you, Makeshift Mitch. Mitch Makeshift, man. Everybody go follow him. He does some gaming. One of the most amazing gamers that's out there, actually. You should definitely support him all the way 1,000. Appreciate all the people that's in the playbacks that watched it back from the beginning, man. All the fans out there, man. I'm gonna try to be back and do something, but hey, realize I've been posting videos every day for a little minute now, and I don't see an end in sight because I'm pretty much timing, brother. Like I've been telling people, timing is everything, and I think I'm mastering my timing to the point that I possibly could have content every single day from here on out, depending on, you know, how people respond to it, what positives or negatives come from it. We just gonna have to see what all comes from it, but ultimately, I'm geared up for the long run, baby. But I appreciate everybody who came through, man. We'll be back when there's something else to talk about, or New Music Friday when we're gonna have a review for the new album or whatever new song. That's when the new stuff usually jump off the most. But appreciate you. I'm about you. Y'all have a nice night.